welcome into the 14A Sports Radio Show. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Hey, sound effects.
Gotta love it, gotta love it. So, over the weekend, Mully, he got himself out to West Virginia. Holy Toledo.
Where's our money going?
Are we still on there?
Not to PSE and
No
G.
PSE&G bills, yeah.
Good Lord, that was kind of creepy. So Mully, out to West Virginia this weekend. You missed all the fun we had, bro.
Yeah, I was a little jealous. I was down in West Virginia, had a great time down there. They actually had a huge upset. They beat number 11 Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I wasn't a part of it, but the kids, they went and burned a lot of couches because that's apparently what West Virginia does. Since the 60s, they've been burning couches, whether a big win, a big loss. All they do is sing country roads, and that John Denver, who's full of shit.
Full of shit, man.
And they just sing that song and burn couches all over the joint. So
The land of methamphetamines and moonshine, right? So.
Well, I couldn't get my hands on any methamphetamine, but plenty of moonshine.
Yeah, what's up with this burning couches thing? Where does that even go back to?
Seriously, I asked
knew
about
that
it. It's
this
the
was
60s. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it's gone back to the. They were taking it to the streets back then. I guess they never stopped taking it.
Holy Toledo. Just to mention, coming up on the show tonight, we're going to break down the MLB playoffs that are going on. Actually started last night.
That was a great game last night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Insignificant with no New York
Cueto.
Whoa, there goes the ball.
At the MLB players, they just don't feel the same without a New York team in it, right?
No, they
Yankees
don't.
in it, the
They
Mets,
don't.
even if
We'll-
the Mets win, I'd
we'll
be
get-
a little
The last time we were in the playoffs, I don't even remember.
We'll get back to that in a sec. Also coming up, we're going to break down week 4 of the NFL and take a look ahead to week 5. And also... Oh, Coles is back. That's great. And then we're going to have our first segment of the NFL Prediction Chuggo. Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Mully will be taking 2 healthy sips of beer tonight. Rich,
Which
you're
has no problem.
Rich is going
Wait, 2 sips of beer or 2 beers?
2 healthy sips, meaning chugs.
All right.
Okay.
I got no problem with
Rich is going to chug 2 ounces of hot sauce, and I'm going to chug 1 beer myself. Rich, what are you going to do for your
I
punishment?
have not the slightest.
Why don't you just take up being an alcoholic again?
that. That worked out real well. Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah. If at first you don't succeed, right?
Oh, boy.
Probably
So,
try again.
so getting back to the MLB playoffs. So last night, Pittsburgh defeated the Cincinnati Reds. They're going to go on. They're going to take the St. Louis Cardinals now in the wild card round.
And actually tonight.
Or the divisional series.
Yeah, you got Tito Francona's Cleveland Indians squad, who went on a 10-game win streak to close out the season against Tampa, man. And it seems like everyone's riding Cleveland, man. Everyone
What do you
wants to
say?
see
We
Cleveland win.
left the beer and the chicken on the shelf or something?
Yeah,
they asked
how'd
how he
you
did it.
able to do this? But you know what's crazy? Jason Giambi. Like I heard Tito on the radio.
Oh.
Jason Giambi, apparently he's like the second manager on that team. Like Tito couldn't say enough good things about him, which whoever saw that coming, right?
Yeah, right.
You were saying that last week that Giambi's actually in line to probably get himself a managing gig.
Yeah, he came in second to Walt Weiss for that Rocky job. But so that game's going on live right now. But last night, man, those Pittsburgh, they were
what an
fired up.
atmosphere! What an atmosphere! You got all the pirate flags flying around the stands. That was awesome. And then you got there's so much from this game. So you had the 1 home run that Shin-Ju Chu hit. Yeah, I got that on the first try. Shin-Jin Chu. So he hits the home run, and then you got the guy lean over the rail, and that you're thinking, all right, we got some controversy here. Next batter comes up, guy hits the ball down the line. Guy picks up the ball for a double, and you're thinking, "Oh my God, are we gonna have another Bartman episode here?"
Yeah, I wasn't thinking that.
Well, you should have been thinking that.
Never crossed my mind.
Should have been thinking that.
But I'm happy to see Pittsburgh. I mean, the last time they were even in the playoffs was '92.
Oh yeah.
Think how even old are we? We were like second grade in '92, third maybe. Old Miss Gentlecore holding us down in the
Hey, she was a Cowboy fan.
Oh, you mean it's Pat?
She was the definition of
That's
that.
what our
That's when
teacher looked like.
Polish
Pat.
kid, what was that Polish kid's name? He had like a man crush on you. That was weird. I
What?
Mr. Allen.
Damien?
No, Alec.
Alec?
No,
Oh yeah, that was a weird guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Allen, he used to call him.
Welsh's first game. First of many.
Surely won't be my last.
Oh,
Surely
but no,
wasn't your last.
but to give it some substance or some viewpoint. Baby Got Back was on top of the station.
Really?
It was the Billboard Top
Wow.
100. Yeah, Baby Got Back.
Now it's
So
the
it makes a lot.
number 1
Got
karaoke
back.
song.
Yeah, you believe that? That's how long ago that was. So I like seeing Pittsburgh win.
And Barry Bonds was like 3 hat sizes smaller than.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. In that series where Atlanta beat him in there, they said that was his first extra base hit in that series. That they showed something during the game last night. But he had been in the playoffs a couple previous years
before Bonds went nuts when the Giants lost to the Angels in 7 games where they should have won. They dropped the pop up. They had 6 outs to go, 5 outs maybe. But before that series, Bonds has been a terrible playoff hitter. Yeah. Terrible. And like his godfather, Willie Mays. If you look at Willie Mays' postseason stats, which was basically the World Series back then.
Wonderful pedigree.
But he wasn't much of a postseason player either. So it just goes to show you. I mean, look at who the heroes last night for Pittsburgh. Russell Martin, former Yankee. Marlon Byrd, who's been on the team all of 30 games. So, big-time players, I guess. I don't know. But, I love those single elimination baseball. I think it gives a lot of excitement.
So with the I wanted to ask that the way the wild card's set up, right? 2 teams, they go just 1 game, and now you go right into. Don't you think it should be like best of 3 or something?
No,
because
you know
that's
why?
not what baseball is.
No, you know what baseball is? It's a war of attrition for 162 games.
Absolutely.
You want a 5-game series? Win the division. Win the division. These are wild card teams. Go win the division. Then you don't have to play the 1-game playoff. No, absolutely not. And the other point is, from a baseball point of view, baseball doesn't get the kind of ratings the NFL does, and I don't know what kind of ratings they did last night, but I sure as hell was interested, right? Everyone loves the Game 7. That's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
One game elimination. I think it's a great move. It keeps another city interested, a couple cities interested for that wild card going down the stretch. And if you don't want a 1-game playoff, it's very simple. Win the division.
It's easier said than done.
And you see,
well, that's the whole point. You should be over the course of 162, you should be rewarded for winning the division.
Right. Going down the stretch, too, you see Pittsburgh goes into Cincinnati. They sweep that series over the weekend. Then they get themselves the home field and take it, and now they're in the playoffs.
Right. Cincy wins one of them, and they got the home field. There's no Cueto.
I tell you what,
home field that big.
Pittsburgh.
It was last night.
That crowd reminded me of when the Phillies got back into it. How raucous that crowd was because they haven't been to the postseason in a while. I tell you what, man. I know that it seems that way in baseball, where you have to kind of take your lickings that 1 year in the playoffs before you really do some damage. But I tell you what, man, this Pittsburgh team, they could certainly hang with the Cardinals in this series. I would not be shocked at all if they end up taking the series.
No, absolutely. I think the Dodgers. We talked about this last week with Nipsey, but I think the Dodgers are certainly the favorite in the NL going into it. When you put the top 2, when you put Kershaw and Greinke at the top,
the short series.
I mean, you're going to face them 4 times in a 7-game series. That's going to be tough, but. Very intriguing storylines. And if Cleveland wins this playing game with Tampa today, how about Tito goes back to Boston?
I love it.
Tito back to Boston.
Nice, huh?
I love it.
I mean, you can't draw that up any better.
I think you can't find a loser in this matchup as a viewer, not being a fan of either team, because you're either going to get Boston against Tampa, which we've seen it over the last couple of years, has turned into a great series, or a great rivalry, and then you're going to have that Cleveland against Boston if they win, So, I mean, you can't lose if you're a fan, if you're not a fan of either team. And, you're right. I know you brought it up a little earlier at the beginning of the show. You're saying it is really weird not having a New York team, like not having the Yankees, or the closest that we have right now is Boston,
I'm not rooting for them.
Right. But
Victorino!
But it's weird in the sense that the last time, in 2008, the Yankees were in it, but takeaways, since 95, right? The Yankees have been in playoff stable since 95, so it is a little bit weird. And I like the Yankees making the playoffs because I like to watch them lose. So, I don't like when they're not.
I couldn't agree with you more.
But no, it also gives more drama, absolutely. But the Yankees, they got plenty on their plate moving forward. And I guess we'll get into baseball a little bit later. But they got a lot of questions, starting with the manager.
Go to Chicago.
I think Girardi's either going to manage the Yankees or he's not going to manage at all. I see him going back to the Yankees. I think he really likes it there. I think he has support of the guys up top. Levine and then the Steinbrenner brothers. I think they're fans of him. Cashman as well.
Why wouldn't they renew him then? Just let him go to expire his contract,
Why did they give him a contract before the season? That's not what they do. Well, then you should say that forget Girardi. They should have done Cano if they were going to do anything.
Yeah, right.
But, maybe Girardi didn't want to, but that's not their policy. They never negotiated season. That's not what they do. They didn't do it for Jeter, right? They took Jeter free agency.
I had a report today coming out saying that the Cubs are very interested in Girardi.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though.
It's either there or New York.
I'll tell you what, though. Why would you take the Cub job? The Cubs are so far away. The Cubs need so much help, so many pieces.
Well, it's home for him.
Right. Yeah. All right. He went to Northwestern. He played from the Cubs, but a big part of it, and I heard an interview, his parents are from there. Unfortunately, both of his parents have passed. Like, his one brother lives there, but his kids, he has small kids. His kids only know New York as home. So is that really his home anymore? I don't think so. I can't see him going to the Cubs. I really can't see it.
Screw the kid. Listen, I've moved all over the country, and look how I turned out. I mean,
just
Exhibit A for Girardi to not move.
Keep your kids at home, Joe.
Oh, boy. Also, we had something very interesting happen over the weekend as well. Me, Richie, Coles ran into the governor.
Yes.
Ran into the governor.
A lot shorter than he is on TV.
Yeah.
Is he a lot wider?
Oh, man.
No, surprisingly not.
He's a really cool guy, though. Like, he sat there, he took the time, the 2 minutes to talk with us or whatever. But, which was funny because I actually had to tug him by the jacket. We almost had another Chris Copeland incident.
He was
where I was,
a lot more real estate to tap on.
Cause he started, we walked over because we're like, oh, shit, he's going to stand in this direction. And then he started going over, like, whoa, come here.
So what'd you say to him? And
we're just like, hey, we're big fans. I know you've been on Boomer and Carton. Would you like to be on the show? He said, yeah, absolutely. He's like, you guys are from Jersey. I'd love to be on that. So,
well...
I mean, he is a politician, so we'll see what happens.
We got overshadowed, though, by Coles' newfound friends there. He made friends with these two very Bayonne people who were up yelling.
More specific.
Oh, we had, all right,
cursing.
So you had two ladies.
Coles.
No, not Coles.
No, she just made friends with them.
Right.
Oh, I thought you meant Coles was doing that.
She was sitting next to him, though, because tables of four, and they were right there. Oh, my God, these ladies were wasted. And they had the nerve to say, oh, you're drinking at this early or whatever? I had a little Tanqueray Sprite, got to have a little something.
They were screaming, like, you're fucking right.
Everything he said. Oh, yeah. Kristen.
And then the one, ran up, towards him to clap, and I seen the dude grab his earpiece and take a step forward. I was like, oh, she's going to go down.
The troopers ready to take him out.
We got a code green.
He had, Secret Service guys, man. Freaking
yeah.
Yeah, no, they're troopers. Yeah.
Christy coming in through the back entrance. Real stealth stuff.
You know about that.
Well... I'd love to see him on a show, but
when we did the show,
I'm not the biggest fan.
Well, thank God it's a sports show.
We'll leave it at that. He is a Met fan, though. He is a Met fan.
And a Jet fan, right?
I don't know about it.
No, he's a Cowboys fan.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
Cowboys.
He is.
He's a good guy.
So you'd get along with the governor. Also this weekend,
how
about another thing you missed out on? Me and Richie K making the acting debut this weekend.
Well, Uncle Ra, I thought it was funny, but Uncle Ra wasn't that impressed. He goes, "Yo, what'd you think?" I was like, "I thought it was good."
He should have been casted as the boss.
Suck.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't Boys in the Hood. I mean, we're two white guys in a black video. What does he expect?
We were acting white.
Yeah, and this is our first acting gig ever on a day notice. You know?
No, I thought it was cool.
Right, and we were studying lines that weren't even ours.
That sounds about right.
That is true. I didn't even know I was going to be the boss of Elizabeth.
So how could people see the video?
They can go on our Facebook pages. Also, you can go just check it out. It's Chris Paul intro video. We'll also be airing that tonight for the many people watching online. So we'll let you know before we air that.
I tell you, though, Hollywood's tough living, man. Like I said, it took all day, and it was a lot of standing around for 6 minutes of glory.
Yeah, essentially. And, we weren't in all 6 minutes.
Right. The one TV show I was on that I know you guys saw when I was in college, the show that will not be named, that took 2 days, and it was like a half-hour show.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I had to keep the buzz going the whole 2 days.
I mean, when I was on the Fallon show, we just did it in one take. I mean,
that was a brilliant performance you put on.
Actually, so I guess this wasn't my acting debut, or was it?
Well, it was acting. Yeah, you were on live TV.
That's true. All right, live TV.
All
right,
we'll
fair
figure
enough.
It out later.
So I ran into Mr. Iosa the other day.
Oh yeah,
Mr.
former
Frank Iosa.
OLMC basketball coach.
Absolutely. So I had a football game.
I had my little league coach
on Monday night, and he says to me, "Oh man, I did the Rob voice."
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can't do an Iosa voice. Whatever. So he says, "Hey, why don't you guys do a top 20 athletes of Bayonne?" I'm like, all right, that sounds like a great idea. So
his son's not going to be on.
So I guess
or him.
He needs to actually go somewhere. But so I was like, okay, that sounds like a great idea.
20 might be too many.
So we're on one side of the field, and then as the game's going on, I come back over to the sideline after a series or whatever. And then he starts getting on me again about it. You should have Borowski and Lord and Jamal and everybody. Yeah. But I mean, it's a great idea, but I just think 20 could be a lot. We might be putting a lot of people in there that probably don't deserve a spot.
Well, tell the people out there, if you have any suggestions,
put
them on our Facebook, email us. and we'll put something together for next week and see what we can do.
We'll see.
I would have to rank Dana Hughes way higher than I don't know. I mean, he played in the NFL,
Well,
so he's got a high spot.
But is Britt like the most
How
talented?
about
you think?
no? What are you kidding
got
me?
talent.
Who are we
I don't
forgetting?
know.
He's got
Chucky Webner. Come
Charlie.
on, man.
Charlie.
I
That's
know,
a guaranteed
man.
one spot.
And Senior
Yeah.
had a great idea about this too. He says, you make this, you could probably get a couple of the guys on, like have them come on, talk about their spot in the order. So there's definitely something that we're going to
Some kind of monument or something.
Yeah.
it's gonna be good.
14asports.com, doing the shit. Not the drugs. That sounded bad. Okay. So yeah, we guess we'll take it to a commercial break real quick, and then we'll get into week 4 of the NFL.
Recap. Are we gonna chug?
No, I think that's the last for the pick'em segment.
Oh, all right.
We'll chug and
Well,
then
the
make our
recap.
picks.
I might chug anyway. Maybe I'll get some more picks right. I'll tell you what. These picks are. No one knows what's going on in the NFL. These
It
picks
is
are
hard,
ridiculous.
Contraire, mon frere, my friend. 3-1 last week. Oh, and we have I love how Rich after week 1. Oh, do I get the trophy here on the show?
I
or
said,
do-
what is the trophy?
No.
Yeah, no, I asked, what is the
Well,
trophy?
guess who's not in first place anymore?
Who is?
This guy, Keith. There's only I think one guy above 500 now.
Yeah, that's tough.
All right, so you point the finger like you're in first place.
Oh, I'm getting there.
Instead,
I'm
you're
getting there.
frickin-
We're all getting there.
I'm getting there. All right, let's take it to the first break. This one's from Mia and the Moonlight. It's called Lois Lane. You can follow her on Twitter at Mia Koo. That's going to be MIAKOO. All right, we're 14A Sports. We'll be back on 15 Minutes of Fame Radio with the Week 4 NFL recap.
15 minutes of fame. Let's go.
Back to the 14A Sports Radio Show. And to start off the segment, we have a caller right now. Who is this?
This is Patty Boy Farrell on the airwaves.
Hi-oh!
Hey,
What's up, Patty?
kid?
Very special treat here.
Yes, I have something interesting I'd like to ask both you, Rich, and Al.
Okay.
And you funny characters are in some sort of short film, I see.
Oh?
They're in the new Sam Black video.
Yeah, that's us.
I just wanted to commend you on how good your guys' acting skills were.
Well, Patty, thank you.
Especially
Thank
in
you.
that entrance scene where you guys are walking in. You guys look very, very tough. I would have been scared if you were walking in.
As you
again.
should be.
Very intimidating.
Well,
huh?
you know what that is? Slow-mo makes anybody look awesome.
Yeah, he was saying all day he wanted slow-mo shots.
Quite badass looks you boys had. I just wanted to call and congratulate you on your acting debuts.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
We appreciate
You're
that.
welcome, gentlemen. You're welcome. Matty Mo, what's going on over there, kids?
What's up, Patrick? How's the training going? I see you in the gym every day. How's it going?
Good, very good. We're making our way back down to 200 pounds. We're about walking out of the gym probably about 215 right now. So
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah, I see him in the mornings. He's working a bag. He's working hard in the gym now.
When you got another fight scheduled soon?
no fight scheduled yet. I'm in the process. I just signed a new manager, a gentleman named Vinny Scalpino,
Oh, cool.
who was Joshua Claudi's manager, as well as Joe Becker, who fought in the Super 6 on Showtime.
Hey,
Nice.
did that
So,
Trian Tifolo ever get suspended for that?
The gentleman, from what I understand, has his license taken away for good in the state of New Jersey.
Nice.
That's what we like to hear.
Well, how about
Also-
our boy Tyrell Wright went 4-0 a couple weeks ago. He's rising up the
Tyrell Wright.
ranks, huh?
He's a very, very good fighter. What a great kid, too. Got his head on straight, was, a tough kid, grew up in a tough life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kid didn't have it easy, and he learned to do things the right way, which is fun. It's nice to see.
Definitely.
Nice to see that kid have success like he's having.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, we look forward to definitely your next fight. We'll definitely have you back on, and appreciate the call. And I know these guys, we can't give too
Hey.
big an ego.
Hey,
but
my head just
definitely
went-
appreciate the call.
You guys both look super weird. That's the thing I wanted to ask.
Hey, Patty, real quick, what did you think of those two meeting the governor?
Hey,
Who?
The governor.
and not of The Walking Dead. Somebody asked
I
me
only
that.
caught the entrance of it. I had to stop. Because I was pissing in my pants. So it was.
They make diapers for that.
No, when they met Chris
I
Christie.
got to go back and watch it. It's a 6-minute clip. I didn't have time.
No, it's when we met Chris Christie on Friday.
Oh no, yeah, no. Listen, let's not have a conversation over the airwaves against it. I don't want to have. I don't. You know what? Hey, no. You know what? 14A Sports, put 14A Sports on the map. You did the right thing. Hey, listen.
We know who's bringing the refreshments.
I know where my paycheck comes from. Right? Like I know where my pay. I am a gentleman to everyone.
We know who's bringing the refreshments if we ever have them on. That's all. That's all we'll say.
Very true. Boys, enjoy. Thank you for having me.
Thanks,
you got it,
Pat.
Later.
Always a welcome guest here on the 14 Day
always a good
Sports
time.
Show.
He's great.
I think that's our first call since.
No, Spanky called.
That's our first call since.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a while. All right, so let's break down week 4 of the NFL. The Giants have another tough time.
Oh, Jesus.
What is going
Hey,
on?
you know what? Things aren't much better on my neck of the woods. So.
Well, I think your team's about to have a mutiny with the
it's
former
going.
Rutgers head coach
man.
Greg Schiano. He might be searching for a college job pretty soon.
It's a shame too. You know, I think he's a good coach, and I think that Revis is a cancer, and it starts at him. And like he was upset first, and
either way,
Freeman snorting Adderall.
Either way, he's not handling the situation well. To have this all played out in the media, you can't really have it. They're talking about how they called half a dozen teams to try and shop them. If you do all that, you got to keep behind closed doors. It just doesn't look good. And you had big hopes for your Bucks coming in, revamped secondary. A lot of skill, a lot of talent at the skill spots.
Didn't you say week 1 at MetLife and then the Super Bowl at MetLife?
Right, I did.
That's what
well,
it was.
the season's not over yet. So
Yeah, that prediction was as good as your acted day.
hey, you said you liked it. You can't take that back now.
No, it was tremendous.
No, it's an absolute dumpster fire going on down there in Tampa. In Mike Glennon, we basically had that game locked up. It was a 10-0 game all the way throughout, and then you get the field goal. All right, no problem. You get yourself a field goal. Then Mike Glennon, when they should be running the clock out. But then again, I kind of understand it. Doug Martin, 27 carries, 45 yards. Fantasy owners are not happy with the muscle hamster. So, yeah, I mean, the defense.
You're right. I thought it was locked up because remember I said to you, I said, what the hell happened?
The defense is incredible, though. I mean, and here's another thing. Tampa has lost 3 games by at least 3 points. Okay, you had the week 1 loss to the Jets by 1 point. You got the week 2 loss by 2 points to the Saints, the dumpster fire in New England, and then 3-point loss here to Arizona. So, I mean, they're right in these games, but that's the same problem that they had the last season. Yeah, right. Enough about the Bucs. Nobody gives a shit about them. Let's go to the
talk
Giants.
about another team that no one gives a shit about right now. I mean, or that's playing like shit anyway. I mean, the Giants. They go into Arrowhead,
yep.
Tough place to play. The game, it's 10-7 game. Reed challenges that Victor Cruz first down, which honestly, it was probably the right call, but maybe 2 out of 10 times, 3 out of 10 times do they actually change the spot. You don't see them change the spot that often, and they change the spot. Confidently the right thing. You're at your own 30. In a 10-7 game, you got to punt, but then here you go. The defense and offense hasn't been bad enough. Now we have to have a special teams breakdown. McCluster takes it to the house, 89 yards, and away we go to another beatdown.
But in reality, look at the situation. It's not that bad because look at the rest of the division right now. If you win this game this week, and now you got Dallas plays Denver.
Look, I understand.
You're only a game out, essentially.
I understand that, are they, mathematically, are they that far out? No, right? So say if they were 2-2 and you're sitting on a 4-0 team, essentially you're in the same spot. But they're getting blown out.
Yeah.
It's not like they're, you're losing a heartbreaker, you miss a field goal, you're right in these games.
It's in disarray right now.
They haven't played maybe the Dallas game was pretty close. They haven't been in the game. Like Carolina just absolutely rolled over them. So, I'm not looking, where is it coming from? The offensive line can't block, the defensive line can't rush the passer. Where are you going? You're not going anywhere.
Where you going?
Nowhere. So, the Giants, they're a team, they got old really quick. Only 2 years removed, obviously, from the last Super Bowl victory. But they just got old quick. And, it looks like they're just going to have to, we'll see. I think right now they're going to play out the string, and it's only a quarter way in. I'd be shocked if they made the playoffs, but I'm even looking for that. How they respond is whether Coughlin keeps his job or not. If they salvage the season, then Coughlin stays on. But if they go, if they have 3 wins, I think you have to move in a new direction. I really think that's going to happen.
All right, so before we get to the rest of the NFL, we'll talk about Rich's Cowboys. It's a heartbreaking loss. You actually had that game 20-7 going into halftime, or almost going into halftime. Phillip Rivers comes there right back before halftime, gets a touchdown.
Dude.
But also close play in that game too, where the rookie Terrence Williams going to stretch at the goal line. That was the absolute game-changing play.
Why reach out there? I don't understand it. Like I said, I
could
have been Madden right after that.
You can't do that.
You can't.
The ball gets knocked away too easily.
2 yards out, your arm's not 6 foot long to get to the goal line. Why?
I think in his defense, he probably didn't know where he was because he was kind of getting spun around. Rookie, maybe trying to do a little too much.
That's what it is.
But you leave that ball out there. You're absolutely right. That thing gets knocked away, especially in today's NFL.
The problem with this game, Romo wasn't getting time in that game. The offensive line's been playing pretty good up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
They expected him to be one of the worst in the league. Not a very good offensive line. So I guess.
You're in first place.
Yeah,
right, but it's very
it's like winning the gold medal at the Special Olympics.
It's nerve-wracking though because after Denver now we got Washington. I'm turning into a schedule guy now.
Yeah. Got him on the schedule.
But that division went from being the toughest slobber knocker, drag out, tough
into the NFC West from a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's by far the worst division of football.
Something interesting with the Giants, we always know how they start out. They'll do that 5-2 start. Actually, a very interesting stat. The Giants haven't. I think it was 5-2 might have been like one of Coughlin's worst starts. Is that right? I heard something along those lines.
Giants go on like these 4 or 5 game rolls.
6-0, 6-1.
Right. They start out the season very well, and then they usually collapse toward the end. So what if they're pulling a Moulin Rouge or some crap like that, and then they're coming out not so hot, and then they storm down the start? How about Antrell Roll saying they could run the table?
Well, that's ridiculous.
Bananas.
That's ridiculous. Right now,
I don't believe it.
Right now, you gotta go one. I don't even think they're gonna beat the Eagles.
I do.
I mean,
as we'll see later, I do.
But then they got Chicago on a short week. The Giants are one game at a time. That 12-0 thing. What are you gonna say though? I think we're gonna lose every other game. Like I understand.
That's the right attitude.
Absolutely. But they're just playing so poorly.
Look, Tuck's ready to punch anybody in the mouth.
Which I understand that sentiment too. Like I get it. But
don't turn on our coach.
But you know what? Make a play, man. Enough. Just make a play. The Giants are in disarray. But how about the other local team? Just when we thought we couldn't have another butt fumble, here we go. Geno Smith with an actual literal butt fumble.
I thought that was kind of cool. It's funny because I had a football game the other day, and I was thinking about maybe doing a behind-the-back move with the ball. And it's funny because I was just thinking that.
What does behind the back in football really accomplish?
Because try to hide the ball.
Yeah, and in a flag league, and you're trying to get touched or whatever, and then whoop, you try to bring it around the back. Whatever. I'm not going to take you into my mind. But
please don't.
But it was funny because I was thinking about that like a day or two before the game, and then there's Geno Smith trying to pull that move, and I was like, he must be in my head.
Are you?
But yeah,
it's so bad.
Obviously a play that could work in a flag game, but obviously not going to work in an NFL game.
Or an NFL.
That ball might have been coming out regardless. That guy was coming right after him. But yeah, the Jets go to Tennessee, they get their shit rocked, and. Here they are at 2-2. Now they got to go to Atlanta, who desperately needs a win.
Yeah.
It's not looking good for the Jets either. And not to look ahead to the schedule again, but I will because I like to. But their schedule looks horrible going down the stretch. So,
well, I think the Jets are. I think that 2-2 start was aberration.
They overachieved.
They should be 1-3.
They're a 4-5 win team. That's all they are. And they're gonna have a rookie quarterback that has showed some glances. Flashed some talent, but they're not very. They're not
you're gonna have your growing pains.
They're really not. And now, how about they don't even have any receivers? Hill and Santonio Holmes are both out.
They had some to start with.
Yeah. Well, that third body against Buffalo. They
Stephen Hill looked like he was doing all right. How about this whole thing with Matt Schaub? How the Texans fans are instantly turning on, and they deserve to for that pick six. Matt Schaub has thrown a pick 6 in the last 3 weeks.
That was a bad.
Now, but that was bad. Like when you're about to go beat essentially one of the best 2 teams in the league,
That was a
you know,
bad-
you can't
I'll
do
tell you
that.
what, that
Put the ball in the ground.
That
man.
interception saved me from having to chug another beer. He doesn't make that throw. That's 3 for me.
Hey, you see
So are you mad at him?
Nah, I don't care. I hope. I don't know.
So Sherman runs to the end
Like
zone
the beer wasn't
without
gonna get
one
drank
shoe
anyway.
on too. That was awesome.
I'll tell you what. On the Texans front, though, you know, Schaub's getting all the heat, and deservedly so. But when is Gary Kubiak going to start getting called to the table?
Right.
You know, this is a team that's had a ton of talent for a lot of years. Last year,
Right,
you know,
people
I
had him in the
understand,
Super Bowl a couple
you
years ago. You know,
T.J. Yates came. You know, they lost a quarterback, but when is Gary Kubiak going to start getting put on a hot seat?
Right. They've
he's
had the talent.
He's right now. You know, I guess he built them up. Maybe kind of a Tampa Bay situation. You know, with Tony Dungy, he might have took them as far as he can go, and you know,
Yeah.
they might have to replace him, get somebody to take him
Yeah.
over the hump.
What do you think? You think Texas needs a new quarterback?
I think what are your other options? I don't think TJ Yates was a decent quarterback.
Not this year, obviously, but going ahead to the future. You think you
I
draft
think
somebody?
I think if you
Start to bring
if you
somebody up.
believe in someone that can be an elite quarterback, unless you have only there's only a handful of guys in a league. You know, your Breeze, Mannings, etc. Yeah, you have to, because if you don't have a quarterback, you have nothing. You know, if you believe in someone, you know, going forward, it's going to be an elite quarterback. You have to take them. That's why there was so much controversy, and actually I was in favor of it. But when the Rams, you know, traded out of the RG3 spot, you know, they believed in Bradford going forward. But if Bradford's just what he is, you know, an average quarterback, the Rams aren't going anywhere. You know, you have to you have to have an elite quarterback in order to win the Super Bowl, right? That's the goal. Does Matt Schaub look like he's going to win a Super Bowl? Not right now. Not right now.
No.
Well, with the good enough defense, I mean, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl.
All right, that was the best defense. I hate
Much different
that's the
NFL.
thing.
Much different
but,
NFL.
But also, that was the best defense of our generation since the '85
Yep.
Bears. The '85 Bears are not walking through that door, my friend. the Trent Dilfer comparison is ridiculous because that was a complete aberration. Name me one other guy.
Well, it happened.
All right.
Yeah, but it's not. The odds of that happening.
Can't deny it happened.
All right, but you can't base your whole system and your whole franchise around maybe we could have a good enough defense to shield our mediocre quarterback. You can't think that way.
Yeah, I know,
Could it happen?
absolutely,
I
yeah.
guess it could. Yeah, could it? Of course it could.
Right.
But is there a likelihood?
the
Absolutely
sun
not.
shines on the
And
dog's
and to build an organization thinking that way is just foolish.
All right. Fair enough. All right. So
take that, Trent Dilfer.
hi-oh. You know,
Poor
Trent Dilfer actually flicked me off on the golf course one time.
I'm sure you deserved it.
Bastard. I
He's
did not.
definitely- you ever-
Whatever. I was a 16-year-old golfing. How am I to know
Well,
the rules?
when
I
we
remember
golfed at
you as a
16.
16-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
I was doing donuts on the putting green. The guy stopped in the
See,
middle.
you
of
should have been
I-95.
flicked off. Not me. Not me.
He flicked off. He wanted to shoot me. He grabbed his shotgun off the back of the rack. It was.
He still drives
He
like
was-
that in a golf cart or
Nah.
any car.
He doesn't get that much practice, really. It's not his fault.
All right, so let's take a look right now. Rich came up with a segment last night. We're going to roll with this one. Ahead of the class, we got a couple 4-0 teams out there. We got 5, actually, to be exact. We've got the Denver Broncos, the Seahawks, the Saints, the Patriots, and the Kansas City Chiefs. Who's your favorite right now out of these 5 4-0s?
Well, I mean, Peyton Manning, that offense looked unstoppable, right? They look absolutely unstoppable. You got to figure, you know, that defense will pick up once they get Von Miller, you know, come back to rush the passer. You know, that defense is not a great one by any stretch, but
But it'll get better.
Peyton Manning, you know, he looks unstoppable. A ton of weapons, you know, a ton of weapons. So you got to like what they're doing in Denver. You know, talk about playoff time. Playing in Denver is a tough place to go and play. So you got to like them a lot. But I like the Saints now, man. I like what the Saints are doing.
my thunder.
Yeah.
One team.
Oh, yeah, all right. No, 2 teams. But I like what the Saints are doing. I like, you know, they got some pressure off the edges. They got some guys on the edge that can rush the passer. Rob Ryan, the D coordinator, seems like he's not trying to run 3 million different defenses and disguise and exotic, kind of a base thing, letting his players play. And, you know, it was interesting. I was watching the game at work with all my buddies, and before kickoff, I was like, man, Sproles really hasn't done much this year. He really hasn't done much. I guess he heard me because he was absolutely on fire that game. And then, you know, you got Jimmy Graham, who is, you know, virtually unstoppable.
All world.
Colston really hasn't done much. If that kid Kenny Stills, who, you know, Oklahoma product, a big-time college player, if they could develop him as another option, you know, that looks like a very tough team playing in in, who's going to get the home field, the Saints and the Seahawks,
boy.
I think might determine who goes to the Super Bowl out of the NFC.
Unbelievable. And, just to piggyback off that, I mean, this Saints defense, I mean, going into the season, that was the big question mark with the Saints is what are they going to do? Can they only give up like 31 when Breeze puts up 34, 38, 40 points? I mean, what did they give up against the Dolphins the other night? Was it 21 on
17.
a garbage time TD?
No, 17.
But I mean, you look at they haven't given up. All right, so if that's the case, they haven't given up 20 points yet in a game.
Right.
They haven't
played
done
well.
it. They played
absolutely-
extremely
Very
well.
opportunistic. They make the plays when they have to make them, and that's what you got to do. Just like when they won the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, excellent point. Yeah, they came up with a ton of big plays. Kind of a bend but don't break, but would come up with a key interception, key fumble. No, I like what the Saints are doing. So how about let's talk about another 4-0 team. We kind of touched on them against Houston. How about the Seahawks? What are your feelings on the Seahawks?
Well, they're always going to have that great home field advantage. You got that one aberration win against the Texans. They should have lost that game.
They won like their last 7 or 8 road games though too. So it's not only at home with these guys.
Right.
They're doing it all over the place.
Now they also beat the Jaguars for one game. They absolutely destroyed the 49ers. I mean, and they've done that the last 2 years. It was on Sunday Night Football last season. They did it to end the season, or week 16, I believe it was. But they're just taking some names and kicking some ass too. That's a defense that nobody wants to face. A couple injuries with that team. Now the offensive line seems to be a little bit compromised. Defensive line, Bennett took a huge shot to the head the other day. Don't know how he's going to recover from that. I still think the Saints are going to be better than the Seahawks just because you look at that division. They're going to face a lot more stiffer competition with those defenses than the Saints will.
Well, I think that they take a backseat. Like, they might be the most dominant team right now. Like you're saying, they kicked the shit out of the Niners the last couple of years. But I think they're still going to take the backseat to teams like the Broncos and the Saints until they do something. You know what I mean? They got to win when it counts. And until then, I don't know if they'll ever.
Well, how about Russell Wilson? I mean, Russell Wilson has been great this year. He had the one game against the Jaguars where he put up some big stats, but really didn't do much in that Houston game. The second half, he started running a little bit more, which gave their offense a little bit of a spark, but hasn't really been that impressive.
His line is always like between 50-60%. It's not like impressive.
Right.
Tell you what, though, a lot of plays he made against the Texans. I was a red zone junkie on Sunday. I didn't go out and watch the games. I just watched the red zone channel. But my God, there are a lot of plays on there. Third down, keeping alive. He kept that game alive with his feet.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to take a
Unbelievable.
15-yard sack, and he turned that 4th and 2 into a first down.
You look like a friggin' Randall Cunningham Tecmo Bowl guy running around there.
I think something else to watch out for with Seattle. Percy Harvin is lurking out there.
Yeah.
Percy Harvin's out there. He could add a completely different dimension to that offense.
Absolutely.
But when's he going to come back? Is it week 12, week 13?
Whenever his headache goes away, right?
Well, you got to figure, right? They're a
head
playoff
hurts.
team, right? With or without him, they're a playoff team.
Yep.
So if they can get him the last couple games of the season, get him up to speed, just something to look for.
He's had lots of time to study the
Yeah,
playbook.
I was just.
And then you got the other, or one of the other 4-0 teams. Tom Brady and his
my God.
kind of ragtag group receivers.
How do you have
But
to go there?
are they ragtag anymore? I mean, Kenbrell Tompkins, had a
Huge game. Huge game.
Huge game. They seem like they're
VJ's
rounding
ready
through.
to sit outside my window with the slingshot. Shoot me. I snagged him in the one draft. But, Cameron Thomas, he didn't look good the last couple weeks, but on Sunday Night Football against the Falcons, he had a tremendous game. He had a drop on the opening drive, and you're thinking, oh, my God, here we go again.
He had a couple drops, but a couple big plays.
But again, just like the Saints, this defense is incredible. I mean, you saw them against the Falcons. Now Vance Wilfork is going to be out for what looks like the season with an Achilles injury. Huge blow
That's
because
huge.
that's
Stuff
300
in the middle,
That's
yeah.
350 pounds right there, just in your center's face right there.
Yeah, that push up the middle, man.
How about your boy Aqib Talib, man?
Oh,
he
my
was the
God.
player of the game.
I'm keeping that jersey, that Tampa jersey.
Yeah, he had the big interception and that last play of the game, the Roddy White. He came behind and knocked
that
it down.
was pass interference, but that's fine. That's fine.
All
They
right,
didn't
so-
call it.
Obviously, these teams are all 4-0 for a reason. But who's the team you think that'll tail off a bit and maybe even implode at, start? Do you see that happening with this bunch?
An implosion?
Do you see Kansas City maybe falling off, Smith not being...
Listen, I don't think we're going to have any undefeated teams. I
No,
think it's just too
absolutely not.
difficult.
I
in
don't
this
know.
NFL.
Maybe Denver.
I don't think so.
That offense is
That offense is ridiculous.
I mean, look how
I think it's
Arizona
just too
started
tough.
last year. They started like 4-0, right? They were
Yep.
hot last year in the beginning, and then they...
Well,
Yeah.
if you're gonna point to anyone, right, the guess would be the Chiefs, but that Chiefs defense might be the best in the NFL.
Yeah, they are. Look at the numbers, right?
You know, Alex Smith uncharacteristically had a couple turnovers against the Giants. You know, he really doesn't turn the ball over that often, but you know, they're doing enough to win. Andy Reid, you know, Jamal Charles has been one of the best backs in football, and if you can play defense like that, you're always going to be in the game with a shot to win. Do you see any of them imploding? I don't see them imploding. I think it's going to be a race for a home field advantage.
Yeah.
You know, 3-4 losses. You know, they're going to take their lumps, but
I just want to brag real quick because I had the Patriots listed as an over. I believe I had it over 10 or 10.5 this year. And listen, I just didn't see, you know, them tailing off much at all. You know, like they're still going to beat the Buffaloes. They're still going to beat the Jets. You know,
hey, Brady could still blow a knee this week.
Listen,
You washed them then.
that's with any team, right? What if Denver loses Peyton Manning?
Right.
Then where's Denver?
But, you know, I mentioned on the things that we learned this week in the NFL. You know, you lose Welker to free agency, you lose Gronk to injury, and Hernandez to the Massachusetts Penal League. And, you know, you guys are still just winning ball games. Later, as we'll see.
Well, they beat Buffalo, they beat the Jets, they beat Tampa so far.
Well, in Atlanta.
That's Atlanta. But the other three...
Okay.
Yeah, but they still won, right?
Yeah.
Right. You all
Gotta
right.
win.
It says you are.
Gotta win.
And the other thing, they're getting healthy, right? Amendola might be back this week.
Yeah, he should be back.
Gronk's
Should
on
be
the
back.
rebound. So, you know, that offense is just going to get better and better.
Well, they play the games for a reason, I guess, boys.
That's true. But as we'll see in the Pick'em segment,
Cliche.
I don't think they're going to keep up the undefeated streak this week. Just
No.
a little teaser. Just a little teaser.
Ooh, well,
I can't wait.
Woo-hoo.
I can't wait.
All right,
such a
so
game player.
take a look at some 3-1 teams right now. Who we got here?
How about the Detroit Lions?
Detroit. Richie called it earlier in the year. Reggie Bush is the X factor. My God, he looked amazing.
animal.
You know what I can't believe about Reggie Bush is that he's only got 2 touchdowns this year. He's got all these yards, and I got him in 2 fantasy leagues. And it's, you know, you just think that he would have a lot more touchdowns, but the yards, he is just killing it out there.
You know,
And he's missed a week, and he's still among the league leaders.
When they signed him in the offseason, I said, man, that's like a great fit for him. And I just felt that he was going to explode up there.
And you know what it is? It's not even Bush. It's just that position because Joyce Bell is having a tremendous. He didn't have a good game last week, but for the week 1 through 3, he's been incredible as well.
amazing.
let me ask you this about Reggie Bush. Why was he not good in New Orleans? Where was he his first 4 years?
I don't know.
Because coming out of USC, remember when he came
Such a
out,
great talent.
Houston took Mario Williams
Yep.
over him at 1, and everyone was like, "That's like
Including
the dumbest,
myself.
Everyone.
The push for
that was
Bush.
that was the dumbest decision. And those first 5 years, it was like, wow, that was an absolute right move. You know that
You're
they took
right,
the
yeah.
pass rusher, but you know where was because at USC he was one of the best college players I've ever seen. He was unbelievable. And now, you know, here he is back to that, you know, dominant. I mean, he was good in Miami, kind of a one-man show a little bit down in Miami.
That's just
but
where he
now
started turning around. He's
now he
carrying
is.
the ball 20 times a game. You know, New Orleans, they weren't really feeding him 20 times a game. They were using him, I guess, more as like a receiver type. And I don't maybe
now,
didn't have a
now
chance
he's
to
running in
flourish.
between the tackles. Yeah.
Right, yeah, and then you know you got Calvin Johnson, which obviously is going to open up a tremendous amount of space. But yeah, I just think you know he's got a better. I mean, I shouldn't say quarterback, but you look at New Orleans, he was young. You know that's another thing. And how
Takes a
many
while.
It
of
was
these
banging
running
a
backs?
Kardashian.
If your name's not Adrian Peterson, like how big of an impact do you make? You know, right off the bat. You
Well,
know,
how about
Doug Martin?
How about you talk about Adrian Peterson? You know, they had to go beat a banged up, squeak by a banged
Oh,
up
yeah.
Steelers team in London. You know, with their backup quarterback who
Fittingly,
should be their starter.
Matt Castle in London.
Right? Why is that fitting?
Castle's London,
Whoa! All right.
England.
Wow.
We're
that was
reaching.
yeah.
We're
That was.
reaching.
I didn't know about that
It
one.
was beautiful. Just a minute. Just like my
let's
acting
not get
debut.
Your ego's through the roof, right? Oh!
Pulling
That's
it back to when
that's
the
an old
Pirates
one,
were in
but
the
a good one.
playoffs
Oh,
last
man.
year. Oh boy.
But yeah, no. But so I think that speaks to the running back position really doesn't matter in football anymore. I mean, look at the Cleveland Browns, Trent
jeez.
Richardson, and now here comes Brian Hoyer. You know,
Who?
All America. Yeah, exactly.
God,
Yeah.
I've gotten to know his name, you son of a bitch.
And they beat a quality, I think, still a quality Bengals team last week. Hold them to
Did we miss
6
the boat
points.
on that? Jeez.
I've been completely off with these Bengals, man. You know what it
And
is?
the
You had
Bears.
him in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. That's
I
why
did not.
I'll be chugging a lot of beers throughout the course. I did it on purpose. But you know what it comes down to, and I say it all along, and I thought Andy Dalton might take the leap this year.
Yeah,
Andy
me
Dalton's
too.
just not that good.
No.
He's not that good.
He's been benched.
And you can't
In my
you can't win consistently in the NFL without an elite quarterback. I mean, look at Eli, right? And I have this argument. I'm a huge Giant fan. I have this argument with Giant fans all the time. Eli had 2 unbelievable Super Bowl runs.
Incredible.
But Flacco just had an unbelievable one too. You can get hot for a 5-game stretch and carry a team to the Super Bowl, but look at the Giants. The 2 years in the Super Bowl, they're 9-7 teams, right? They're 9-7 teams. You know, those years they started off 6-1, 6-0, and they fell down the stretch. Elite quarterbacks, that doesn't happen to their teams. Peyton Manning, for as bad as he's been in the playoffs to a degree, his team's always in the playoffs.
He
He's
barely has to
always
play
in
the last
playoffs.
3 weeks.
It's unbelievable.
They got shit sewn up.
Which might be part of the problem, honestly.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at Brady's supporting cast, right? These first couple weeks, where they were terrible. A couple no names off
He
the
got
street.
baristas at Starbucks playing wide receiver for him. It's ridiculous.
All right, last thing to wrap up the segment. How bad are the Jacksonville Jaguars?
Oh my!
They're
goodness.
terrible.
Are they?
3 touchdowns so far, right?
They're unbelievably bad.
I believe it's
Unbelievably
3
bad.
touchdowns they've scored. Blaine Gabbert, he should be a barista at Starbucks.
You're right.
Jesus Christ.
Sunshine. He looks exactly like Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Yeah. But are they worse than the 0-16 Detroit
Lions?
team?
Yeah, they have to
Yeah,
be.
they're bad.
Yeah,
They're bad.
they're so bad.
It's unbelievable. They play Denver in 2 weeks.
They-
Week 6. They predict the line might be like 28.
28, yeah. I think that's too low.
I'll just go the over.
It's unbelievable.
That's way too low.
Over like 72.
How are they going to stop Peyton Manning? I mean, they're going to have to put in Brock Osweiler at some point. You can't. You just don't want to risk that.
Why? It's not like the Eagles.
It's probably going to be.
Jaguars
It's probably going to be 35-0 with like 7 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah,
It's gonna be something along those lines.
They talk a lot about NFL and parity. Well, absolutely
There you
not
go.
right there, man.
No,
they are
they are
god
bad.
awful.
God no. Terrible. All right, actually, let's not close the segment there. We had it. Let's run down the positions. Who do we think is the best at all the skill positions right now?
For this season.
Yes, so
Okay,
far,
man.
right
Played
at
the
the
best.
quarter mark. Obviously, I
Manning.
think we're gonna have Peyton Manning as the number 1 quarterback. I think there's no doubt about that. But who's a surprise quarterback that's surprised you so far?
What about Rivers or Shaw?
Schaub in the negative.
Yeah.
Negative,
Well, look at Rivers.
in a good way. In a
Rivers.
good way, yeah.
No, Rivers, absolutely. I'll tell you what, Mike McCoy can coach, man. I think Mike McCoy needs to get a ton of credit. One thing I didn't realize about him, he was the offensive coordinator for Jake Delhomme on John Fox's team when they took him to the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Jake Delhomme was so bad in those next couple of years. Remember that one playoff game he threw like 6 picks?
Oh, yeah, against Arizona.
And so McCoy, worked ones with him, goes to Denver with John Fox, coaxes somehow, gets a playoff victory out of Tebow, right? And now he comes back.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Now he,
yeah.
now he comes back,
Irrelevant.
resurrecting Phil Rivers' career. Everyone thought Phil Rivers was done as a lead quarterback.
Yeah.
And now, so I think a lot of props to Mike McCoy. So maybe surprise head coach Mike McCoy, but I like the Phil Rivers surprise at quarterback. I'll give you another one. I like and take away this game. I like how Alex Smith has done with Andy Reid. I like how he's played. Taking what the defense gives him. Managing the system. Again, are they a Super Bowl team? No, because I don't think he can win a Super Bowl playing like that. But they're absolutely a quality team, and they've had a great start so far.
Definitely. I think on the quarterback end, too, I want to take a look at Matt Stafford. Here's a guy who's putting up a tremendous amount of points. I know for fantasy-wise, I think he's got, close to 100 points already, so that's awesome. Got him on a team. Leading a lot of high-point charges against teams like we saw against Chicago.
Right.
I know that they had a Detroit had a defensive touchdown against Chicago, but still 40 points going against the Bears. And a lot of that, I think 31 of that, 30 maybe, I don't know, somewhere around that range. That was in the first half. They were just putting it on them.
Yeah.
Props goes out to them now with Reggie Bush and that offense. Got a ton of weapons. They just signed Kevin Ogletree today, who the Bucks
Yeah,
released.
they just cut him. Yeah.
I actually tweeted Ogletree. I wanted to see if we can get him on the show, see what's going on behind the scenes in Tampa, but I don't think that's going so well. Anyway.
All right, next.
Running backs.
I go with Reggie Bush.
Reggie Bush been a surprise. Yeah. Adrian Peterson's been a stalwart. He broke off that first game. He had that one big run the first time he touched the ball, but he's just doing what he does. Especially with really before this last game, no quarterback to speak of at all.
Right,
I think it's clear that he's by far the best running back in football. So I'll take Adrian Peterson. Yeah.
LaShawn McCoy. He's had a great season. I know, got their ass kicked in Denver the other day. I was reading this website. This is an awesome website. If you guys ever get a chance, profootballfocus.com. A lot of good stuff. So they had a running back segment on this one. They said LaShawn McCoy has been the most effective when running down the middle of the field this year. He has 162 carries, and they say just running down the middle of the field. So, I mean, that's just tremendous stuff right there. He's always going to get his yards in that offense, but, I like to see this Eagles offense work. I think they got a ton of exciting pieces. And
definitely a bounce back year. Bryce Brown coming into the year, it was looking like Bryce Brown might be taking away his carries. But McCoy is obviously superior talent, and he has a nice year so far.
How about your boy DeMarco Murray staying healthy thus far?
Well, it's early.
There it goes. there it goes.
It's early.
But no, I mean, I think that's been a reason why Dallas has been doing pretty well. I mean, both their losses have been close games. He loves him some St. Louis Rams.
He tore it up that game.
He loves him some St. Louis Rams.
But yeah, he stays healthy, and they feed him the ball, and they're going to win a lot more games with him on the field than off the field, obviously.
Yeah. Now the receiver, tight end. I think Jordan Cameron's a guy that we got to mention.
Jordan Cameron. Even before Hoyer came in and played well, even with Brandon Whedon, Cameron was the go-to guy. Just another one of those, basketball players turned tight ends out of here. Antonio Gates, Jimmy Graham, Tony Gonzalez, textbook. And, it's just, he was at a USC, right? So it's not like he was, came out of nowhere. Yeah. He was a USC guy. But, who could expect the kind of production that he's given you? Another guy, too, Denver, Julius Thomas. He blew up that first week with a couple touchdowns and, has been very productive. The balls obviously get spread around in that offense. But
anybody on that offense.
Let's be honest. This panel could be productive receivers in that offense.
Let's not get nuts.
I've seen you catch.
All right, Eddie Royal. Eddie Royal's been a pleasant surprise thus far. 5 touchdowns through the first 2 games. He actually had a touchdown called back in week 3. I don't think he did much last week, but I mean, Eddie Royal, for a guy that's been pretty much forgotten, very talented guy, right. Just excelling with that Phillip Rivers in that offense, right. And he's the benefactor. So
another receiver that's kind of turned on as of late, ton of talent. We actually talked about it with Epstein coming to the season. Alshon Jeffrey, for the Bears, kid, big time recruit out of South Carolina, had a nice college career. Really didn't do much his rookie year. Honestly, very rarely do rookies come in as receivers and make big impact. So now, he's adjusted to the system, new trust offense,
and everything the right way.
Right, and I think part of it too. Last year, I think Cutler was just so dependent on Marshall, didn't really look to spread around as much. And now in this new offense, getting some more protection. Alshon Jeffrey, his talent shining through.
Forte's blowing it up too out there. So I mean, he's gonna get every opportunity in the world because you got to cover Marshall because that's Cutler's freaking security blanket. And Forte, you got to give him his attention. He's gonna get every opportunity in the world there.
I tell you what, Chicago is one of these teams that I was just absolutely wrong about coming into the year.
You were on them.
I thought they were gonna be a complete dumpster fire. And they
what is this dumpster?
I like it. I love it. And they got all these weapons now. You look at it: Cutler, Forte, Brandon Marshall, Jeffrey, Martellus Bennett, the Black Unicorn.
But I tell you, where does it all start, man? Cutler's biggest problem was he never got any protection, man. He always got whacked. And now that right side, they 2 rookies. Long and the other kid Webb on the right side. They've been playing very well, amazing, and you give that kid time. Cutler's always had all the talent in the world. Ironically, actually, I've always liked Cutler out of Vanderbilt. He was in the Matt Leinart, Vince Young
very
draft.
Strong arm.
I always thought that Cutler would be the better quarterback. I saw him when I was at Florida. Vanderbilt came in and played them, and I saw Cutler live, and I was very impressed with Cutler in a completely outgunned Vanderbilt team then. But I like Cutler, and you keep Cutler. He's a little bit of a gunslinger, Brett Favre. Like, he's gonna make mistakes. He's gonna throw the ball away, but gonna make a ton of plays. And like you said, just a cannon for an arm. And as long as they keep him upright, they keep pass blocking like they are, I think they're gonna have a very, very productive offense.
Yeah, you got to keep him upright. Once he starts to feel that pressure, you hit him a few times. And you'll see he starts making those mistakes. He starts to release a little faster, right? Knock out through his progressions, get a little trigger happy. So, keep the man upright. He's going to do amazing things.
Show enough. All right, let's get 2 videos, and then it's time for the news from our Coles lady. All right, this first one's from the Scandals.
Whoa.
This one's called
Coles News.
That's when the news starts.
Oh.
God, the Scandals are going to be so pissed at you that you interrupted their video tag.
Pardon.
The Scandals, this one's all night. you can follow them on Twitter at the Scandals.
We're no good at
And the
scripts.
second one's going to be from Leah Robinson.
LEA.
Ohio. Follow her on Twitter at the Leah Robinson. That's LEA. We are 14A Sports on 15 Minutes Fame Radio. We'll be back with CNN.